Take a look at the movie that said, what if your emotional support animal was also a fire-breathing menace with unmatched vibes?
I've decided I don't want to fight dragons. What?
Yes, How to Train Your Dragon is back. Live action, straight up stunning, new cast, bigger dragons, more emotional damage.
We've killed hundreds of us.
And we killed thousands of them.
We're hanging out with Mason Thames, Nico Parker, Gerard Butler, Nick Frost, the entire village as they spill tea, dodge explosions, and try not to get outacted by a CGI lizard with wings.
Everything we know about dragons is wrong.
We've got exclusive clips, behind-the-scenes chaos, answers to the most important questions of our generation. Like, would you risk your entire village for a dragon that can smile?
Maybe they're not as bad as we think they are.
It's giving epic, it's giving trauma, it's giving, I need to see this 3 more times. Here it comes! This is How to Train Your Dragon. Take a look, take over!
Yeah, here we are. It's our half-hour special dedicated to all things How to Train Your Dragon. I'm going to try not to cry during the interviews because this movie means so much to me and has for so long. Before we get into the live action, let me take you back in the day. My then 5-year-old son Jackson did interviews with the entire cast, including DeBlois, the original Hiccup. It went down like this.
What would you train it to do?
What would I train it to do? I think you know the answer. Fart! What would you train it to do?
Sing.
Sing! See, this is, you're making me look bad. You're like, Joseph, I'd feed him meat. I want him to sing. I was like, fart, farty, fart, fart, fart.
What would you do with it?
What do you think? Fart! Fart, fart, poop, poop.
You just made a pattern.
Fart, fart, poop, poop.
Again.
That's a pattern. Fart, fart, poop, poop. Thank you for coming. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, the reason he's rolling, he had never heard an adult say that word, but he carried on best as possible. Regardless, I love his journalistic integrity, those hard-hitting questions, and I decided to bring those into the room this time around. Think about how cool this is for Gerard Butler. He was the original voice talent in this movie, came back around to the live action, and crushes it. We talked. Good to see you again. Caffeinate, hydrate, whatever you need. Let's go.
Both. All at the same time. Same time.
Congratulations on this. It is every bit as epic and as amazing as we would hope it would. For you, it's full circle. How does that feel?
It feels good because reactions like this, you know, I love this franchise, and when I knew I had the opportunity to actually step into his boots, you know, and wear that armor, I went in with full gusto. You know, I brought everything, and I felt like I could bring all my experience of warriors I've played, but not just that, because I think what is actually unforgettable about Stoic is quite the opposite. Yeah, you remember those big moments.
Yeah.
With this movie, we had a chance to see those contradictions, that grief, those moments with his son, that, you know, they are so touching. The quietness, you know, the softness behind the roar.
Yeah, as a parent, like, you know, people of all ages are going to find time to laugh in this and cry, but as a parent, my God, there are moments in this movie where your heart sinks and you feel it.
Absolutely. I think you're feeling it from all the characters. Like, it's a long time since I've seen a movie. I just watched it again the other night, and you go, every character is experiencing, so there's so much story in every moment. You know, every moment is endowed with some meaning or humor or touching or lesson or, you know, a character evolving. And it's just, it's a joy because it's also with the backdrop of this incredible world that we've stepped into and all the excitement of all the action, which in itself is also feels a lot more visceral and real and immediate because it's live action. You know, it's the real thing.
Yeah, say what you will about Tom Cruise, but you were doing your own stunts in this, getting thrown around quite a bit.
Yeah, I always do my own stunts too. I just don't hang off airplanes or go into space. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm not quite Tom Cruise. They're like, yeah, we'll insure you, but not like that.
You're doing well. All right, I got to hit you with the hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
My then 5-year-old son did all the original interviews for the original movie, so I'm going to bring to the table what he brought from his brain.
Okay.
If you had a dragon, what would you name it?
Loki.
And what would you feed it?
Fish, and bubble gum.
Got it. Jaber Rochelle said farts.
He would feed it farts.
That's what he said, and my 5-year-old son had never heard an adult say that, and it just rolled out of the room.
That's why he's not Hiccup anymore.
Is that what happened? Now we know. Suddenly now we know the dirt.
After Bubblegum, I'm not going to be stoic anymore either.
For you, how does it feel to know that you've immortalized this character that you immortalized to begin with?
It feels good to know that I immortalized myself. I beat myself, I beat my own record. It's true. There's not many actors have gone from playing an animated character and then gone into live action, so that's pretty cool. And then to do it, and I think do it hopefully well, and then be backed up by a movie that way surpasses, I think, expectations. Then it's great. It's always, we make so many bad movies. We try our best, but it's every now and again you're almost forced to make a good one, and this is it.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, but I think knowing that you're back, Dean's back, I mean, it had like all the prep work to be as epic as it is.
Well, I can't speak highly enough about Dean. I mean, I just knowing the work and the passion and care that goes into that and what he does in his mind, how he creates those characters that we watch effortlessly and go, oh, I'm going on a journey. That all has to be written down and thought about and, moved here, there, and then the world and what he brings to the dragons and the life that they bring. That's, he's a master, and also a master with zero ego. That's a joy to work with. He's so precise in his direction, and I'm like, it's like shorthand with him and I now.
Master to master. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Gerard Butler, amazing in this. Trust me, he's great in everything he does. He could win an Academy Award for this. And think about that full circle moment, voicing the original Stoic, now bringing it to life. And I can't wait for you to see his performance. Hey, speaking of behind the scenes, Dean DeBlois, your director. Coming up next, I go behind the scenes with him to talk about what this meant and the cathartic way this came about. You're going to love it. We'll continue our half hour How to Train Your Dragon Take a Look special next. Yeah, welcome back to our half hour Take a Look Takeover. It is all things How to Train Your Dragon, now live action. If you can't tell by my little friend here, oh, this is so awesome, hanging out on Toothless. Yeah, what's wild is that you expect it to take off at any moment. When you see this movie, you are going to believe dragons are real. Part of that is the visionary Dean DeBlois bringing it to life. And think about it. Dean originated this in its animated form, and now in its live action form, he is the guy to take it home. We talked. Dude, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Gotta run over there. If we had time, I'd give you a giant bear hug. Dude, this is epic.
Wow. Thank you.
And you're uniquely qualified to shepherd it along the way.
Yeah, it was always going to be, either a disaster or or a good thing to have me in place, because I believe I'm the first director of an animated movie that now shepherded into live action. So, yeah, for better or worse, hopefully it's leaning for better.
Was there any time, there had to be time when you were working on this story that you realized, just how awesome it is. You probably thought live action day one when you were doing the animated.
Yeah, when we worked on the animated movie, we often we fantasized about this being in live action, and we leaned into that aesthetic. We brought in Roger Deakins, who's a famous cinematographer, and as our consultant, and we tried to make it feel as though this is a world of consequence and peril, even in the animated form. So this allows us to go full bore.
Now, when we see it, and I mean people of all ages, critics, jaded people, and just people that just wander in off the streets, everybody has the same heart and soul feel to this movie. We're crying. Did you as a filmmaker cry whether it was in Village or when you saw something fully posted and said, yes, this is what I wanted?
Yeah, my moment was actually, it kind of caught me off guard. We were shooting the scene where Hiccup is supposed to be killing the monstrous nightmare in front of the whole village. And his father, Gerard Butler, is up there talking about how proud he is of his son. And he's making jokes about him. And we put the camera on Mason Thames, listening to it in the tunnel, and you could see the mockery and the ridicule and how it affected him and how he was able to withstand it and yet still walk out there and follow his convictions. And that actually brought tears to my eye, because I realized, now this is the character that people root for.
And the greatest heart. It's shown that's this heart-forward moment. That is what it's all about at that very moment.
Yes.
Gerard Butler, you also get to take him the full journey, full circle. How great is that?
It's great, and it almost didn't happen, because when we first inquired about Gerard's availability, he was not available. He had 3 back-to-back projects. It was the actors' strike of 2023 that shuffled projects around, and for a short window he was suddenly able to join us, which it seems crazy to think that it would be anyone else.
And it's wild when you, I would assume in process, he lays his voice down, and to a certain degree the animation flows after that. And so now, do you think Gerard went back and looked at that in product and then cycles that back into his own live action?
I don't know if he took a look at the past work, but certainly donning that costume, which was incredibly heavy, and putting on the 5 pieces that made up his beard and wig, he transformed. I mean, the first time I saw him in costume, he was talking like stoic, and he was fully in character. And I think that it just allows him to completely inhabit Stoic the Vast.
Well, I'm so grateful for this film. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and it's your destiny to make it. Was there a moment, a singular moment in your childhood that you can remember that put you to this, that you parlayed into this?
I think there are 2 things. I was kind of a surrogate parent to a cat when I was a little kid. I wanted a pet of my own, and so I looked after a neglected neighbor's cat. And I think the other thing is just from an emotional point of view, I had the blow up with my father, but I didn't have the moment of amends. And so it's cathartic to me when Stoic says he's proud of his son. It's kind of a way of reliving the past through a more positive lens, I think.
Well, that's a good thing. Makes the universe a better place. Good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That guy is awesome. He is the person to bring it home. In fact, a Cannes Film Festival standing ovation for you, Dean. You did it. All right, settle down, Toothless. I'm back down. All right, this film would be nothing without Astrid, nothing without Hiccup. You'll get to know him even better next.
You have something none of us have.
Hey, welcome back to our half-hour How to Train Your Dragon Take a Look special. Look, this is what you do. If you ever encounter Toothless or any dragon, you got to subordinate. You got to turn your head down and away. Otherwise, teeth or no teeth, they're going to bite your arm or what else off. Hey, I sat down with the originators of the new live-action Hiccup and Astrid, Mason and Nico. Bring it. We talked. Take a look. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
You have no idea how deep this runs with me and my family. This is like hallowed grounds. And you crushed it, both of you.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
To honor my 5-year-old son, did interviews with the original cast of the animated, and he sat down with Jaber Rochelle at 5 years old. So to honor that interview, I'm going to start by asking his questions for him. All right?
Oh my God, yeah.
All right. If you had a dragon, what would you name it?
We just keep going.
I mean, am I allowed to go with Toothless?
Yeah, I guess you have to at this point.
I kind of have to go with Toothless.
How about you?
What did I just say? Pickles, yes.
There you go,
Pickles.
there you go.
Pickles is my favorite word. So
a
Pickles
terrifying
is the name
name.
for my dragon.
Yeah.
Very menacing, I think.
Strikes fear into it.
And then my 5-year-old son's follow-up question was, what would you feed it?
I feed it. Oh my
Pickles.
goodness. Maybe pickles for pickles would be kind of good.
That's kind of like...
Going off of the movie's interpretation, probably fish. Just big fish.
Pickles eats fish.
Yeah, stay
Toothless
true.
eats pickles.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to my own. How was it when you landed on set and realized, oh my gosh, I am Astrid, I am Hiccup?
I mean, it's insane. You know, I remember the first time, like, it really kind of hit me that I was, Hiccup is... We did the first costume test, and I sat there and I looked in the mirror and, saw me as my childhood hero. I mean, it meant so much to me. And, I'm so grateful and honored, so...
Yeah. It was... Yeah.
That was a you thing.
It was surreal. It's still surreal. Even seeing the movie now, or clips from the movie, it is always a pinch me moment, because I do think it's so true. It is kind of playing your childhood hero, your childhood idol. And so I think the fact that we are now a kind of set in stone version of Hiccup and Astrid is really, really special, and something that I don't think either of us take for granted.
Yeah, because you have to own up to the fact that you are immortalized in this way.
I know, Dean, we saw our action figures, which the fact that I'm even saying that is ridiculous.
Yeah, never in a million years.
We saw our action figures, and Dean was like, isn't it crazy that this version of you is going to be here forever? And me and Mason were like,
yeah, I love it, yeah.
Some version of you is going to be, and you will be someone's birthday present. How crazy is it?
Insane.
Crazy.
That's
my birthday present.
Maybe your own.
Nico, I got you something.
There are certainly layers of CG and post-production added to this, but what I loved about it is how much practical there is in this. So say what you will about Tom Cruise, but you two were getting thrown all over the place. I can tell. Rolling, jumping, diving. What was the hardest day on set?
Hardest day on set.
The cartwheels?
Honestly, yes. The hardest day on set, I think, was maybe in the movie. It's 2 seconds long. I just have to jump over this like big.
Oh, I remember that.
What's that called? What
It's
is
a hurdle.
that? A hurdle. Thank you so much. I have to jump over a hurdle, and it's just the shoes were really heavy, and they really just weigh you down. That fur just
Weigh you down.
just weighs you down. And I also was holding the axe, and it just was a lot. And so that day, I just remember being and it was raining. I was very frustrated, and so I was just annoyed that I didn't think it was looking right. But now I watched the movie, and I was like, you wouldn't even be able to. It annoyed me even watching it because I was like, you can't even tell how many times.
No, it was crazy. She took one bite of a chocolate chip cookie or vanilla cookie, and she just did it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
there you go.
That's
How
how
about
she stayed
you?
alive on set.
Hardest day?
I mean, probably like. I mean, I would go with something crazy, but like whenever we were in the arena, there was one day it was just so cold.
It was freezing.
Like it was so cold, and you know, everybody, all the crew, so amazing, doing the best they can to keep everybody warm. But the stuff I was wearing, it was just like
thin,
very thin. But that's the boring answer. The fun answer would be, you know, a lot of the stuff on the Dragon was super tough. But yeah, but that was fun.
Not a bit difficult.
I did drown. But it looks good in the movie, so it was worth it. Yeah.
It's
a lot of
epic.
Dragon
All
stuff.
of you guys,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you.
I know, Toothless, they are amazing. I can't imagine anybody else playing Hiccup, or for that matter, playing Astrid. Look what I just did. I touched the dragon. I just told you not to touch the dragon. I touched the dragon. Wait till the dragon touches you. All right, when we come back, other lessons can be learned by the mean kids on the block. I'll catch up with the entire Warrior mean kids from the Viking world, as well as Nick Frost, who is the best dragon slaying teacher ever. Or not. Either way, he's awesome, and we catch up next.
Because the truth is, we aren't always going to be around to protect him.
Welcome back to Take a Look at our DreamWorks How to Train Your Dragon Takeover. My next set of interviews, I'm a little PTSD because I was bullied by the mean kids on the block, and there are a set of mean kids in How to Train Your Dragon. However, at the end, if you know the story, they come around. Regardless, it was a pleasure to catch up with them. Take a look.
Man, I can't wait to get some legendary war wounds.
Yeah, like a nasty gash right across my face.
Call me boring?
Boring.
But I'm just excited to see some real, live dragons up close. You know, I could do without the permanent injuries and...
Oh, where's the glory in that?
Yeah, it's only fun if you get a scar out of it.
What was the toughest day on set?
Oh gosh.
First day fighting dragons was like
that was insane.
Because we were the test monkeys as well.
Yeah. Because we did our on the gimbal of our dragons together, and there was one point where like they'd kind of bring us upside down to like raise us back up, and I was like, oh, I'm not tied in, and I just kept going. But
Did you really fall off?
Nearly, but it was very clear, and it was also a problem being so polite, being like,
I've got strong thighs, so I just grew. I was like,
but yeah, because because it was amazing, like riding the dragons. It was all animatronics. But yeah, we were the test monkeys. We were the first. I think we were the first ones to do it.
I think we were
because
the
it was two heads going at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly like this.
Sounds like you're bragging.
Yeah, well, it's kind of easy
is that
to do.
okay?
Well, it's like if you went to space, if you were the first there, you'd be bragging about that too.
Yeah. Wouldn't you, Gabe?
What about the scene you're most excited for people to see?
Test drive. I'm the most excited to see Test Drive myself. I haven't seen it yet on an IMAX screen, so I can't wait to see it.
I think I'm excited to see the Great Hall scene with all the Vikings in it, and we're seeing Stoic talking to everyone. I saw like the rough cut of it before we did ADR, and it just looked really cool. Everyone's like kind of glowing, and all those older guys, and when we were working with them, they looked really cool. I was just intimidated, and I'm just keen to be intimidated again.
Yeah. You want to be bullied again.
I want to be.
Look at that, Toothless. The kid's not so mean after all. Don't mind me, I'm just scratching my dragon's throat. They love it when you do this. Actually, I think they do. You'll have to watch the movie. You know what else you're going to learn? A lot from the Dragon Slayer master himself. Nick Frost is gobber. He was just over there a minute ago, and we talked. Take a look.
Hey, good to see you.
Hello.
Lovely job in this.
Thanks very much.
He reminds me a lot of a teacher I had, and though it might not have been the best teacher I had, I do have fond memories of this teacher.
Yeah.
Where do you bring it?
Well, I think that probably says a lot. That I mean, there are lots of teachers that I don't remember.
but I remember the really good ones or the really violent ones, or the bad ones. You know, I think Gobber's that. He likes to learn on the job, and he, I think, is a realist in terms of in any given moment you could be killed in Berk by a dragon. So let's train hard and fight easy. Is that a thing? Have you heard that saying?
I don't think
train hard.
We don't
fight
talk about
easy.
the Fight Club. I know that, but I've never heard "Let's fight easy."
Yeah, that's. I think that's a British saying.
No, okay.
It is now.
All right, let's make it a thing.
Yeah, you just got to train hard and fight easy.
You just gave birth to it. That's
That's
great.
it, there is.
Is there a day on the set that particularly brought you joy? You've done so much, and I know a lot of this movie is added in post-production, but so much of it was practical.
Yes.
You had to show up and look around and go, look at this.
It's just enormous. You know, I'd spent probably 3 years shooting kind of indie horror comedies.
Sure.
Which are fairly contained in terms of scope and scale. And then you come onto something like this and it's just enormous. You know, there's a scene I shot with Jerry in, I forget what it's like their kind of main stone hall, and walking through that, because you actually had to walk through the doors of the hall to get onto the set. So it was like the first time they opened those doors was the first time I'd ever seen that set.
Right.
And it was like, wow. It was everything was there. It was amazing.
I've been a big fan of that guy for a long time, since Shaun of the Dead days, but I'm telling you, like I said with Gerard, this is among his best work. Nick Frost kills it as Gobber in How to Train Your Dragon. All right, Toothless, I think we've done it all. Be sure and like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on AFN in 177 different countries and territories worldwide, we thank you and we salute you. Until then, I'm pretty much just stuck up here, so I'll be here for a while. In the meantime, as credits roll, thanks for watching. Don't forget, DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon in theaters now. See it on the biggest screen possible. For Take a Look, I'm Marquez Allen. Peace out, and we'll see you later. You like it when I do that, don't you? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know I like it. See ya.